Good afternoon, everyone. There you all are. There you all are. Sorry, I'm late. YouTube decided to send me an email about 5 minutes before we were due to go live, and it suspended all my memberships, saying that I needed to verify something or other, which I've now done. Not sure what happens to the memberships, and whether people will get them back because it just says it's just paused. So everybody that had a membership next to their name, I can't see you with memberships anymore at the moment. But it is what it is. We take it from there. Just have to wait and see. Right. I won't talk football yet. It's going to be all about the predictions at the moment. And then if we want to talk football afterwards, we can do. Just a bit of housekeeping. I'll say hello to people first and then a bit of housekeeping. And I hope you're all well. Um, a bit of housekeeping is to say hello. So you've got Ryan G says, big up Jose. Just done my predictions on your predictions league. Hit the likes, people. Carl Simpson is here. Good afternoon, Carl. Says, saying hello to everyone. Scott Colliver's here saying hello, Jose, and everyone. Kuva is here. Good afternoon, Kuva, sir. Says, big up everyone. I can't wait for the show to get 5,000 followers and the manual predictions that take 8 hours. Um, you've got Ian is here. Good afternoon. Ian says, Kuva, seriously, pal, who writes your scripts? John Michael is here saying, afternoon, Jose, in chat. Ronnie is here saying the same thing. Um, and he says, afternoon in chat. Yeah, with the memberships, Ryan, I just got an email about 5 minutes before the show saying that the memberships have been paused because there was some information that I hadn't provided. Um, I have provided everything and reviewed it, and it starts going into something about American tax and stuff like that. Anyway, I've sent everything all over again to them, so hopefully they'll reinstate everyone fairly soon. That's what I'm hoping anyway. You have Buenas tardes, Jose mis amigos from Ian. Good, yeah, in Spanish. He does it in English. It's bilingual, Ian. Um, Ryan G says, afternoon, everyone in the chat. And Graham's here, says, afternoon, Jose, and all in the chat. I hope you're well, Graham. I hope your work went well today and that you had a peaceful day, my friend. Um, yeah, like I said, I'll talk football after, but first of all, we're going to start with the predictions because I started it early today to get it out of the way and get it over and done with. Um, but what I will remind people, and I will keep reminding people, is that we have two other competitions going alongside this manual one that I do, and one is there. Oh no, that's not it. That's the member link chat. That Premier League predict the football with a code there, so you can enter the league. I think most of you here are already in that, but I'm gonna. It's in the chat, and also I have the one for the Fantasy Premier League information. So that's the link and that's the code entries you need to get into the league at the fantasy. A bit further housekeeping, you smash the like button on your way in. Right, Destiny 5 is here as well. Good afternoon, Destiny. Right, with that being said, what we'll do is we'll go straight into it. So I'm going to start with the people that are here. And the first game is tonight, Manchester United versus Fulham. What say the crowd on Man United v Fulham? And whoever's first, I will put their names will go into the chat as I do it. So bearing in mind I'm doing this for the first time, I've done it for a while. So Man United Fulham. What do we reckon on Man United versus Fulham? So Destiny 5 is in. So let me see Destiny 5. 5 is in and he's going for a 2-2. We have Scott Colliver. And Scott has gone for, let's use this one as well. Scott's gone for 2-2 as well. Then we have Mr. Carl Simpson. Right, Carl, with yours, are you aware that Man United are at home? Am I still taking 3-1? Because Man United are the home team. Ryan G's gone 3-1. Who we've got after Ryan G? We've got Kuba. And Kōbe's gone in at 3-2. Yeah, 3-1. So 3-1 home victory for Carl. And then I've got Kōbe's, and then after Kōbe, we've got Scotty M. Good morning, Scott. I hope you're well, mate. Scott M, it says 2-1. And then we have Graham. And Graham is coming in with 2-0. And we also have John Michael. And John Michael's coming at 2-0 as well. Right, so at the moment, I have got Ronnie. Ronnie's coming at 2-2. Oh, sorry, Ronnie's coming in at 2-2, isn't he? Yeah. Right, I might as well get my score. What did I do as my score? I have to look because I did my score. I'm going to keep the scores that I did in the predict the league as well. Afternoon, Hanno. I hope you're well, mate. We're just doing the predictions, and we're currently on the first game, 2-1 to United. Okay, so you want 2-1 United, right? And then I will give mine as well. So Hanno is in at 2-1 to United. Jay Ashraf is here, and he's going 2-1 as well. And he's 2-1. Right. What did I go for? I'm trying to find out what I went for. So bear with me a second, and I'll let you know. So we complete this. So you've got my scores as well. I think I changed that, didn't I? Yes, I have changed my score. Right, my score is I have gone Manchester United 1, Fulham 2. So I'm going for the away victory to Fulham is what I've gone for. For these people that have just joined now, so Hanno, Jay Ashraf, and some of the others, John Michael maybe. If you haven't done so already and you would like to enter, we have Predict the Football, which is an online version that people can enter. It's on my community page, but it's also there in the chat. That's how to enter that. And if you want to enter the Fantasy Premier, it's also there. There's a Fantasy Premier with the league code as well. Yeah, if people want to enter. Let me go back to this. So I'm hiding the comment as well. Right, so I take it that's everybody in for Man United Fulham at the moment. I knew that today wouldn't be busy. It's the same as last year's. Last year started off with just a few people. I think it was 18 we started off last year. And then 18 became 119 by the end of the season. So it's been a slow start. If people come in, they're going to have to play catch up. So the second game for you people, lovely people today, is tomorrow's game, which is a 12:30 kickoff, is Ipswich versus Liverpool. What say you on Ipswich versus Liverpool, people? Peter Kagayas. Peter, if you're entering this, mate, it's with the first game is Manchester United Fulham. Do you have a score for Manchester United Fulham? Phil, you've just missed Man United Fulham. So for Peter and Phil, it's just Man United Fulham if you're entering. Peter. Right, Peter's going for a 2-2 for Man United Fulham. And if I can see Phil Coy's score. So Phil, you've just missed the one, 2-1. Okay. So you're up to date now, Phil and Peter. We're now on the second game. which is Ipswich versus Fulham. And for that, Peter's coming in with 1-1. Have I got Destiny 5? Destiny 5 is going 1-3. Scott Colliver, has he put anything in there? Scotty's going for 0-3. Carl Simpson is gone for 1-2. Ryan G. Where's Ryan G? Can I see Ryan G somewhere? Ryan G 1-3. Kuva is 0-4, I believe. 0-4. Scott M has gone 4-0, so that's 0-4 again. Graham, what is Graham gone for? Graham's gone for 0-3. John Michael, he's gone 1-3. Ronnie, where is Ronnie? Ronnie 0-2. Hanno, where's me man Hanno? Hanno. Steve D, hello Steve D. Which one's that? Is that the second game, Steve D? The game we're looking at in the moment? If that is a 1-1 draw, Liverpool Ipswich you're going for, then all I'm missing from you, mate, is Man United's game tonight. So it's Man United Fulham is the first game. So if you want to give me that one, Steve, I can put that one in for you as well, mate. Jay Ashraf, what did you go for? 1-1 for Jay Ashraf. And then I should have Phil Coy's second score is 1-4. Right, so Steve, yeah, just give us the score for Man United Fulham, please, Steve. And then I've got you up to date, I believe. And now I've got to look for the score that I went for. United 1, Fulham 2. So Steve D and I have gone for the same score in that game. Right, for completeness, so I have me, Destiny, Scott Colliver, Carl Simpson, Ryan G, Kuva, Scott, Graham, John, Ronnie, Hanno, Jay Ashraf, Phil, Peter Kagayas, and Steve D. I have all your scores in. And for the Liverpool Ipswich game, I've gone for Ipswich 0, Liverpool 2. I was toying with the idea 2 or 3, but I've now stuck and I kept it to 2. So the next game of the weekend, is there any more people? Because there's 18 people watching at the moment. And at the moment, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15 sets of predictions. There's 18. There's now 17 people watching. Is there anyone that wants to join in so we don't have to keep going back later on in the show? If you want to join, tell me now and let me know what your scores will be. Next game that I'm going to go to is tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoffs, is Arsenal versus Wolves. Arsenal versus Wolves is the next game that I have for tomorrow. Ronnie's gone for 2-0. Scott is going 4-1. Scott's going for 4-1. Peter's going. Let me just go back to the level. 2-0. I've got 4-1. I've got 3-0 for John Michael. $3-0 for Kōbe. I have 3-0 for Phil. I then have Peter 0-2. So I'm guessing that's an away victory. So it's 0-2. You put Arsenal, then you put 0-2. So that from putting that down as an away victory. Ryan is going for a 2-0 home victory. Destiny, I've got you. I think I got you already. It's loaned. I haven't got Destiny. Destiny's going for 3-0. Um, 3-1 to the dark side is what Stevie D's saying. Carl Simpson also is going 3-1. Graham 2-0. Jay Ashraf 4-0. Hanno, sorry, Scott 2-0 for Hanno. Scott M 2-0. Right. And I think that might be everyone caught up with at the moment. Just trying to see. Great might think I like Kuva. People are giving you belated birthday wishes there, Kuva, again, which is superb. Right. My score, just to complete this, is I've gone for Arsenal 2, Wolves 1 is the score that I've gone for, which brings us on to another 3 o'clock game tomorrow. And that is Everton versus Brighton. So Everton v Brighton. Okay, so that's my score there. Everton v Brighton. So Ronnie's 1-0 to Everton. So that's a home victory, yeah, home victory for Ronnie. Ronnie 1. Scott's going 1-2. So that means when I mean Scott, I mean Scott Colliver. Stevie D 1-1. Kuva 1-1. KG Affairs, these opening games, aren't they? Ryan is going 1-2. Ryan, where are you, Ryan? Ryan's going 1-2. Carl's going 2-0. And then we have John Michael's going 2-1 to Brighton. That means an away victory. It's 1-2. Phil is going for a 4-1 away victory. 1-4. Peter is going for Brighton to win 2-1, which makes that another away victory. Scotty M. Scott M is going for. Did you say 1-1? Scott M. Scott M is going 1-1. Destiny's going 1-2. Spurs GC to Graham is going 1-1 as well. God, it's 1-1. It's a famous old result. It's 1-1 at the moment. Hands down, this one. Jay Ashraf, another 1-1. Hanno, another 1-1. Right. Do I break the mold? And that's what I need to ask, because in the predictions, on the online one, I've gone for 1-1 as well. I've gone for 1-1 as well, but I do know that Everton may be without Jared Brathwaite tomorrow. But I'm going to keep it. So, yeah, my prediction there is I am also going for Everton 1, Brighton 1. Which takes us on to the next game. Another 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. It's Newcastle versus Southampton, people. What say you? Newcastle v Southampton. Newcastle, Southampton. We're starting with Steve D's comments. Steve D's gone 2-1. Stevie D, 2-1. And then we have we have John Michael saying 4-1. The tune for Kōbe is 5-1. Carl Simpson 4-1. Cool, you boys are banking on plenty of goals in the opening day of the season on this game, ain't you? 4-1. Scott C 3-1. Jay Ashraf 3-0. We have Destiny 5 at 2-0. Then we have Ryan G, Phil Coys, Scott M, all 3-0. And then we have Ronnie at 3-1. Graham at 2-0. Peter 1-2. So that means a Southampton away victory. And then I'm missing Hanno. Hanno, you still there, mate? If you are, I'm missing your Newcastle Southampton. Unless I can't see you. What did I go for in online? Oh, yeah, I know what I've gone for. Right, Hanno, are you around, mate? Because if you are, I'm missing your one result for you, Hanno. And that is Newcastle Southampton. Okay, failing that, Hanno not coming back. We've got 17 in the chat at the moment. Does anyone else want to start and want to take part? Because the sooner you come into it, the sooner I can go and then come back to it after. So I've gone for, because I'm missing Hanno's score at the moment here. So I'm going for Newcastle 4, Southampton 0. Although I've got Southampton to be safe and to stay up just about and to get 17th, I am going for them for an opening day loss. So with that being said, no more results are coming through, and I don't know where Hanno's gone. So what we do is we move on to the next game. And the next game is, so this is tomorrow's 5:30 match. So for those of you on Sky, so Sky's first game on a Saturday evening will be Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. And the first game, likewise for TNT, will be Ipswich versus Liverpool tomorrow. So there are your matches. So Destiny started its ball rolling with a 2-2 draw. Then we have Carl's game 1-2. John Michael, Steve D's going for 0-0. John Michael's going for 3-2. Peter is going for 2-2. Daikaru, you joining in? I've just seen that you've got a comment there, but if you're joining in, start at this match, Nottingham Forest Bournemouth. Ryan is going in at 1-1. Ryan is going in at 1-1. Where's Ryan's name? There it is. Ryan's going in at 1-1. Ryan's going at 1-1. Ronnie's going in at 1-1 as well. Scott M's going in at 2-2. So Desmond for Scott. Graham is going in at 1-1. Ian, if you want to play, just start your scores from now, and I can roll back after because Dakaru's just joined as well, so I can always roll back after we've caught up with everyone. I have got Forest 0, Bournemouth 1 for Kōbe. Who we got next? We have Jay Ashbrash is saying 2-0. 2-0 for Jay Ashbrash. So at the moment, I'm missing Phil Coyes, Hanno. Phil Coyes has come in, just as I say it, 2-2 draw. Ian Meth is just coming in, and he's giving me an order. Good you. Ian Meth has come in with 2-0. Dakaru, if you're following, if you want to join in, you can do, sir. So I'm missing Scott Colliver and Hanno. Scott Colliver giving me a score? No, I'm missing Scott Colliver and Hanno. Right, Ian, the next game for you then, mate, is Ipswich versus Liverpool. And for Dakaru, it's Man United Fulham, if you want to play Dakaru. Okay, so I'm going to go to my prediction for Forest Bournemouth. Scott Colliver's going 1-0. Right, so Scott C, you're going 1-0. Okay, so I've got you. So now I'm just missing from this result we're looking at. Right, Rob, starting out Forest Bournemouth. Rob, and I can roll back, mate. It's not a problem at all. Start now, and I can roll back. Rob Belcher. And Ian, if you want to come in, Ian, you can, as well as Forest Bournemouth, Dakaru. Anyone that's watching now, start from where we are at the moment, and we'll continue. So that means I'm not slowing everyone else down. And then what we'll do is we'll roll back for the people. So it's 0-2 for Rob. And the score for me that I put in my predictor, my score predictor, what did I put down? I have the score being Forest 3, Bournemouth 2. Although I don't know whether Bournemouth are going to get the goals from because they've just signed that striker, but I'm not sure whether he's going to be available to play tomorrow at Evan Nilsson. But I have it as 3-2. Ian, are you putting in a score for this one for not Forest Bournemouth? And Dakaru, are you putting a score in? Whoever's just joined now, to start from here, and I can roll back the scores, so then I'm not stopping everyone. Yeah. Right. Sorry. Ronnie's pointed out that the Forest Bournemouth is the last 3 o'clock game, and the 5:30 game tomorrow is the next game that's coming up, which is West Ham Aston Villa, appetising game for a 5:30 match. So tomorrow evening, for your delights, it'll be West Ham Villa. It will be the Battle of the Clarets. The Battle of the Clarets tomorrow. Rob Belcher's coming in with a 1-1 for that one. Scotty M's got 2-2. John Michael has a 2-2. Who else have we got upstairs? Peter's got 2-1 to West Ham. Graham's got 1-1. Jay Ashraf's got a 2-2. Destiny's got a 1-1. Let me see if I've got Peter. Ryan G's got 2-2. Ryan G's on a 2-2. 3-4 for Kōbe. Kōbe likes these 50p gambles. Or 30 piakas. Sounds like a Greek footballer. 30 piakas. Phil Coy's 3-2. Steve D 1-2. And what is Ronnie's? I'm missing Ronnie, Carl Simpson, and Scott. So I'm sure you've given it to me, but I've just rolled down 3-3 for Carl Simpson. Who else have I got? Have I got Scott Colliver 3-2? And then I'm also missing at the moment Ronnie. He's probably given it to me. I've just not got to it. Ronnie's 2-1. Right, it's got 25 people watching. If anyone wants to join in, join at this point, predicting West Ham, Aston Villa, and I can roll back and do the others when we go back for people again. I can go back and we can start the others. Cut that one and we copy it into here. Right, is anyone else wanting to join in? At the moment, we're looking for West Ham versus Aston Villa. So any new players that want to join in, West Ham, Aston Villa is where we are at the moment. No? Okay, we'll move on to the next game. No, it's not the first prediction, Big John, but give me your prediction, John, for West Ham Villa, and I'll roll back and go back. So don't worry about that. 2-2. Good afternoon, Big John, as well. Nice to see you, mate. I hope you are well. It's been a while. Pleasure to have you here. Is there anybody else that wants to enter that hasn't so far? We are on West Ham versus Aston Villa. I can roll back for you guys back after we finished. We've only got 3 more predictions to do after this. And then I can roll back for those that have come in late. So at the moment, West Ham, Aston Villa, Jose, I have gone for West Ham 2, Aston Villa 1 is what I've gone for. And the next game is the Saturday 2 o'clock game. Sorry, the Sunday 2 o'clock. Right, David Clark's just joined in. All right, David Clark. Right, David Clark has just come in and he's going 2-1. 0-2. 3-1. 1-1. Newcastle 3, Southampton 1. Forest 1, Bournemouth 1. DJ Samuel is coming in with West Ham. So DJ Samuel, don't worry about it. DJ Samuel can roll back and we can go back. When we finish this, I'll go back for the people that have come late. So DJ Samuel's going for 2-1 to West Ham. David, I haven't got all the way to the last games yet, but you know, if you want to jump at the gun, so to speak, you can do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Right. So anyone else that wants to join in, we are at West Ham, Aston Villa. I'll take them from here. I can always roll back. It's not a problem at all. So the next game will be the first game on Sunday, which is the 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. And that game is between Brentford and Crystal Palace. London derby to kick off the first week in the Premiership. I was going to say West London derby, but it's no point saying that because Brentford are West London and Crystal Palace are South London. So Rob is coming in with a 2-2. Yeah, Ian, I've got your first two scores for the first two games. I've got your Man United score and your Ipswich score. I've got them two. John Michael's going 2-1 to Palace, so that makes it a 1-2. So please help me out because I have to keep reading it. So it's 1-2 because they're not the home team. Brentford 1, Palace 3 for Ryan. DJ Samuel's going for 1-3. Coover's going for 2-1. Although I'd be doing well with my glass. I'm wearing glasses and I've just put, what did Graham go for? Because I've just put Coover's in Graham's. 1-1. Good morning to you, Alan. I can see that you just sneaked in, so we will get you up now. Red Rados. Madness. And you are coming in with a 2-2 for this one. Right, who else have we got? Steve D says 1-2. Ian, you're not hearing your name. I have said your name twice, Ian. I've got your first two scores. Now you're on Arsenal Wolves. So I've got your first three scores, Ian. Just to confuse me. I've done that. I've got it. Brentford 0, Palace 2. Peter Kagaias, what did you go for? 3-2 to Brentford. Ian, I've got your first three scores. I am hearing you. I've got your first three scores. John Garside, Big John's going 1-2. And then we have Brentford 1, Palace 2 for Carl. And then we've got 1, which I've got Ratdos Madness, which I've got. Steve D's I've got. Brentford 0, Palace 1 for Ronnie. And DJ Samuel I've got. Brentford 2, Palace 1. I've got Destiny 2-3. Destiny 2-3, which I've now got. And then after that, we have Jay Ashraf is going in for a 1-1. Phil Coy's going for a 0-2. Right, so I am missing. Right, why can't I see these? I'm Graham Scott Colliver. So let me work myself back. Scott Colliver's gone 1-1. So all right, Graham, I probably just missed you. I've just got to go back. Let me go back. How far back am I going? All right, 1-1. You've gone for. Sorry, Scott M. I'm missing. Scott M's going 1-3. Right, Hannah, I don't know where he is. And Ian Meth has gone for Brentford 0, Palace 2. 0-2. Scott Colliver and Spurs GCTV. I have you. Right. Sorry. Graham, you're saying 1-1, yeah? I've got you as 1-2 for some reason. So that's 1-1. Okay. And I've got Scott. I've got everybody's. I think. Yeah, I've got everybody's at the moment. And for Brentford Crystal Palace, I've gone for 0 to Brentford and 1 to Crystal Palace. So I've gone for 0-1 in my prediction on that one. Which takes us on to our next game. To Sunday evening or Sunday tea times game is Chelsea versus Manchester City. Chelsea v Man City. Oh, Rob Belcher is starting me off with a 2. Oops. Rob Belcher's kicking it off with a 2-1. Nice to see you, Rob, by the way, and I hope you are well, you and your family. You're all healthy and you're full of summer breeze, my man, summer breeze. Ronnie 2-4. 2-4. Then we have Big John 1-3. Then we have Rakdos at 1-4. Then we have Scott Colliver at 0-3. Then we have Ryan G 1-3. After Ryan G, we've got DJ Samuel coming in with 0-3. Then we have John Michael coming in with 1-3. Then we have Stevie D 1-3. Spurs Graham 1-2. Then we have Carl Simpson 2-4. Then we have Ian Meff 3-0-0-3. Peter is coming in with a 2 draw. Destiny 1-4. Then I have Phil Coys at 2-3. And then I have Scott M at 1-2. Right, so unless I'm missing people, that I starred that one there when I came in. Right, so at the moment, unless I can't see you, I am missing Kuva, Jay Ashraf, and Hannah's already out of the picture somewhere. So Scott M is one of them. No, sorry, so I'm missing Kuva and Jay Ashraf for Chelsea versus Manchester City. Are we there? Right, I'm going to move on. So Kuva and Jay Ashraf is who I'm missing for this game. I'm going to move on and then we'll roll back to the start. The last game of the weekend takes place Monday at 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's Leicester versus Tottenham. What say you guys on Leicester v Tottenham? Oh, sorry, before we say Leicester v Tottenham, before I start reading everyone's comments on that, who came in first there? I think it was Scott Colliver. Right, before that, my score is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2 is my score. Yeah. So Scott, can you just confirm for me, Scott Colliver, that you've come in with 3-1? 3-1 is a home victory because Tottenham are away. Are you saying it's 3-1 to Leicester? Rob Belcher's going for a 2-1 to Tottenham away. So Mr. Belcher's gone for 1-2. DJ Samuel has gone for 0-2. Scott Colliver saying yes, 3-1 to Leicester. So Scott Colliver is 3-1. Sorry, let me just go back up. Yeah, I can see, John. Yeah, sorry, everyone in the chat. The memberships were paused about 5 minutes before I came onto the show, and I don't know why they were paused. YouTube wrote to me and said that I needed to provide something to do with American tax, which I did. I'd already done it. So I went in, pressed the button to say that it had already been done. They come back and said, oops, sorry. And they turned around and said, yeah, it's all sorted. But I can see now that people that started commenting have now got their memberships back. So thank God for that. So you lost your memberships for an hour. How dare YouTube do that is what I'm going to say. Who am I on to now? DJ Samuel said 02, which I think I plugged in. Yeah, I did. Next, I had Carl Simpson says Winks 1, Spurs 3. So it's a 1-3. And then we have Graham is also going for a 1-3. Did Kōbe put a score in there? Scuba's gone 2-4 for City. Right, so yeah, I'm catching up now. I'll read your comment in a minute, though, Kōbe. Yeah, 2-4, and then you've gone for your famous 3-7. How many times are you going to put that in the bookies this year, mate? I wonder. We also have, who do we have here? We have Rakdos Allen is going 1-3. Then we have Big John is going at 1-3. You too as well, Big John. I hope you and the family are well, and I hope everything is healthy in your life, my friend. Ryan G is also going 1-3. John Michael is going 0-3. Ian Meth is going 1-4. Destiny is going Foxes 1-3. And then we have Steve D at 1-4. Oops, 1-4 is for Steve D. We have Ronnie at 0-3. We have Peter. Peter, are you saying Leicester are going to win 4-0? I just want to confirm that. Leicester are going to win 4-0. If that's the case, that's what I will put in. But at the moment, you've got Leicester at 4-0. So I need to understand if that's correct. Jay Ashraf's coming with 2 scores. He's caught us up. That's fantastic. Right. We have got Scott M's coming in with a 2-all draw. So I've got Scott M. Adrian, you can take part if you want as well. It's never too late. You can start at this score, which is probably your favourite game of the weekend. 2-3 for Phil. And do I have Peter? Is Peter confirming it's a 4-0? Yes. So Peter's saying 4-0 to Leicester. Ooh, it's a big victory for Leicester there then. Right. For me, I've gone for Leicester 0, Tottenham 3. I think Tottenham won't be calamity at the weekend. And I think they won't be a calamity of the weekend. Right, hold on. Adrian is coming in. So Adrian, I'll have to roll them back for you in a minute, but you're all right starting here. So 0-5. I think that Tottenham won't be calamity of the weekend. And I just think it's interesting because what I'm going to say is that many people say, do you know what? The Premiership's the hardest league in the world. Do you know what? Teams have tightened up. Do you know what? Teams have become tougher to beat and tougher to play against and scores and blah, blah, blah is what people say. And then if you go out and you muller Leicester, then people are going to say, yeah, but they were easy to play against. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that all teams are hard to play against in the Premiership. And then if you go and beat a team by 2-3, then turn around and say, do you know what? But you should have done that. You should have gone and done that because by one token you're saying one thing, and the other you're saying something totally different. Peter Val. We're screwed if we don't beat Leicester. They've been dreadful pre-season. The quad is on. Steve D and Carl Simpson saying, all I've got to say is I looked at Leicester's injuries and their forwards, Patson Daka is out injured. Vardy's out injured. Although Vardy's 35, he's out injured. Iheanacho's left on a free. Yeah, they haven't recruited. But anyway, at each to their own. Anyone can pick their own scores. So, right. So what we're going to do, he thought he'd throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Right, what I'm going to do. So this is going to be for Rob Belcher, Big John, DJ Samuel, Rakdos Madness, and Adrian. I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the first game with you guys. So that is Man United Fulham. If you don't hear your name, it's because you don't have to add anything to yours because you've already got these results in. So for those 5 people I've just mentioned, for those 5 people, it says Rob Belcher, Big John, DJ Samuel, Alan Rakdos Madness, and Adrian. Give me the score for this game. And then that means we've got your in. Rakdos is going 2-2, and DJ is going 2-1-1. Adrian, what say you? What are you saying, Adrian? Adrian, 2-1. Okay. The next game for you guys. Dekaru, if you're playing, mate, start now because it's the first game. Anyone that wants to join in now, this is the first game of the weekend. Give me your score predictions on Man United Fulham. So apart from the people that I've named, so I'm just waiting. No, so everybody has got. I've got everybody's score for Man United versus Fulham. Anyone new that wants to join in, give me. So Mr. M. Good afternoon, Mr. M. Right, Mr. M is going 0-3 for this game. So Mr. M, I'm gathering that you're telling me Man United Fulham is going to be 0-3. Anybody else wishing to join in? Talk to me now. Let me know. No, so we are at Mr. M. Right, the second game of the weekend is Ipswich Liverpool. I need the scores from Rob Belcher, Big John, DJ Samuel, Rakdos Madness, Adrian, and Mr. M to complete this one, please. Rob Belcher's going 1-3. Big John's going 1-4. Rakdos is going 0-5. DJ Samuel's going 1-0. Mr. M's going 1-3. And Adrian's going 2-3. Mr. M has been working at the Ipswich Stadium doing the seats. You make them nice and comfortable and put cushions on them for when Tottenham arrive, Mr. M. We like sitting down on cushions. Right, next game, third game of the weekend, and this is for Rob Belcher, Big John, DJ Samuel, Alan, Adrian, Mr. M. And that's Arsenal versus Wolves, please. Rob's coming in with 2-0. Mr. M 0-3. DJ Samuel, Big John 3-1. DJ Samuel 1-2. Uh, 2-1 for Adrian. And Alan is saying 3-0. Right. So the next game that we've got, this one is for Ian Meth, Rob Belcher, Big John, DJ, Rakdos Allen, Adrian, and Mr. M. Yeah. So the next game is for all you guys. And that includes you, Ian. Everton versus Brighton, please, mate. Rob is 1-0. DJ Samuel 2-1. Big John 2-3. Two one. Then we have Rakdos Madness. What did he go for? 1-2. Adrian has gone for. What did Adrian go for? 2-2. Ian has gone for Mr. Meth. Mr. Meth has gone for 1-2. And last but not least, to clear that up, is Mr. M. What's Mr. M going for? 1-4 for Mr. M. Right, so these next ones that I need are from exactly the same people again. So the same people that have just put their predictions in. I need your predictions for Newcastle versus Southampton, please. Right. I have got 2-1, 2-1. Rob Belcher's gone for 2-1. Right, Rob, you're done, mate. You're in. You've got all 10 predictions. Ian has gone for 4-0. Big John's gone for 3-0. We have Big John at 3-0. We have Adrian at 2-2 again. I have DJ Samuel at 3-0. We have I got Alan? Alan 4-0. And Mr. M 2-0. Right. If there's anybody out there that wishes to join in, right, because there's a fair few of you still watching, if there's a fair few of you that still want to join in, please join in. Just jump in and join in at whatever score you see and whatever game we're on. And then afterwards, I can always roll back so we can all just keep up and in time. Right, the next game that I'm looking for. No, Lee. Lee, tell me what your score is going to be for Newcastle Southampton, mate. I can come back to yours afterwards, but start from now, Lee. So, yeah, Lee, give us the Newcastle Southampton score, please, mate. 3-0. So, is that, yeah, they're at home 3-0. Right. So, For now, Lee, you're going to have to give me everything until I roll back. Right, for the next game that I'm looking for, the people that I need these scores from are anyone new that's playing, but otherwise I need Ian Meth, Big John, DJ Samuel, Alan, Adrian, Mr. M, Lee Wizkid. I need your predictions on Forest Bournemouth, please, gentlemen. Two one from Adrian. Ian is going Zilches. We then have Mr. M is going Zilches. We then have DJ Samuel is going with a 1-all. Lee's going in with a 2-2. Alan, did I see Alan? Alan's going in with a 2-1. And Big John's giving me 1-2. Big John, you're in, mate. You've done your predictions. You've got all your 10 in. Right. For this next game, I'm going to need Ian Meth, Alan, Adrian, Mr. M, Lee Wizkid, and anyone else that wants to join in. We are currently on West Ham, Aston Villa. West Ham, Aston Villa. Lee Wizkid. So Ian, I have all 10 of yours now, mate. You have logged in all 10. So I've got that. Lee Wizkid is going 1-3. Mr. M's going 3-4. Oops. As I've got Adrian there. Adrian's going 1-all. And then I'm just missing Alan's, and Alan's got 3-2. Alan, I have all 10 for you, sir. You're in. You're done. Right, next game. And for people, unless people want to join in, which they can join in, right, and I need this for Brentford Crystal Palace. And the people that I need this from is Adrian, Mr. M, and Lee Wizkid. So we're down to 3 of you that I need these from now. Adrian, Mr. M, and Lee Wizkid. Brentford versus Crystal Palace. London derby on Sunday. Oh, I don't know about that, Alan. I don't know about that. I'll take plenty of points, but I don't know whether I'm the man, though. And I hope you're having a good Friday, because for you, it's just starting. For us, we're possibly 2/3 of the way through it now, if not a bit longer. Yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way through. 4 o'clock, I think, would have made it 2/3 of the way through. And Lee Wizkid. Lee Wizkid. Where is Lee Wizkid? Lee Wizkid's gone for 1-all. Right. So now I only need you 3 people again. I need Adrian, Mr. M, Lee Wizkid. Dan, are you doing this one as well, mate? Are you doing this one as well, Dan? Because if you are, you can join in now at Brentford Crystal Palace. And the name of the website, mate, is here. Look, I'll give it to you here. It's there. It's on screen now. So for anyone who hasn't entered already, you can enter the online version of this as well at premierleague.predictthefootball.com, and then enter the code for the mini league, which is 561854, and then you're all entered into the online one, which has got a different scoring system to what we do. We do clearly just 3 points for an exact result that you get correct, or 1 point for going the correct way but not getting the result quite right. So that's we do it in a simple way. They do it with goals for and goals against and stuff like that. But a machine does all the work. I do all the work on this one. But if you want to enter Premier League, it's premierleague.predictthefootball.com, and you enter the code for the mini league for LTL Cockerel. It's 561854. What are we on? We're on the penultimate game. Sorry, I've jumped the gun there, ain't I? Right, Dan. Okay, do that. Right, and if you do that, that's fine, Dan. But if you want to have your predictions on here as well on the manual one, then just pick the same predictions you picked there, and then just put them into the show when it finishes or before tonight's game, and I'll accept them, mate. Right, so the next three people that we've got, I need Chelsea Man City scores from the last three people. And the Chelsea Man City that I need it from is Adrian, Mr. M, and Lee Wiskid. Chelsea Man City. Yeah, this is the third comp, Lee. This is the one. Yeah, I do the manual one as well, the manual version, because this one gives you interaction and stuff like that. So, and people start bantering each other here and stuff. So yeah, it's quite good doing this one. 2, 3 for Mr. M. Lee's going 1-4. Adrian, what you saying, mate? It's the last one that you've got to give me. Adrian, you have got all 10 in now because you've got my 1-3, so you've got all 10 right. So that means, right, for Lee, and we're now with Lee and Mr. M, and it's the last game of the weekend, and that last game is Leicester versus Tottenham for you two, gentlemen. Anybody else in the chat that wants to join in, you're more than welcome to do so. Right, Mr. M is going for 1-4. And Lee is going for 0-2. Right, Mr. M, I have all your scores, mate. They're all predicted and they're all into this one. Lee Wiskid, I'm going to go back to you, mate. So, Lee, give us your Man United Fulham. You're the only one, apart from Hanno, who was here and gone, you're the only one that I'm missing. Unless there's others that want to join in. So, Lee, the floor is yours. There's 4 more results you've got to give me, and then we're there. So, it's Man United Fulham. One, two. Okay. The next one is going to be Ipswich v Liverpool. Do I need to bring up for you? Ipswich Liverpool. For you, Mr. Lee, who's a Liverpool supporter. — 0-3 for you, mate. And then we have Arsenal versus Wolves. Arsenal v Wolves. You've gone for, sorry, bear with me a second. Arsenal versus Wolves. You have said 2-1. And then Everton Brighton, and that's it, and you're in, Lee. And let me see what we've got for Mr. Lee. He's gone for 1-4. Okay, so start here, Dan. Start here. Everton Brighton. So anyone that wants to start here, or I'll tell you what, we'll start from the start. Oh, 1-2. Okay, we'll start from here. All right, 1-2, Dan. Let me work my way backwards. I'll go backwards for you, mate. So the first game of the weekend, mate, is Man United Fulham. Ipswich Liverpool. Ipswich Liverpool. Yeah, so then you've got Arsenal Wolves.
Hello.
Any final results, and then I can 2-0. This game is Daniel. The fifth game is now 1, 2, 3. Everton Brighton. Right, Newcastle Southampton is the fifth game. Three 0. The next game is Forest Bournemouth. I will say, Adrian, if you're still here, check your phone, mate, because I've sent you the link as well. Because I wanted to have a chat with both of you. 2-1. The next game I've got is West Ham Villa, Dan. West Ham Villa.
I think
1-2. Brentford Palace. (1-1) Brentford Palace. The next game going into the second Sunday game is Chelsea Man City. (1, 2). And then the last game is a Tottenham game, mate. It's Leicester Tottenham. And then I've got yours in. (1, 3). Right, Dan, you're in. So that's everybody in. Thank you very much. We've got there. Anyone else wants to join in, they'll have to catch up after. Right. Thank you everyone for taking part. Ian. Tell
Good
me about
afternoon.
Tell me about today, mate. How's your day been?
Why? What have I done?
No, I'm asking how your day's been, mate.
My day's been fine. It's been busy. I had a client this morning pick up my new glasses. Does anyone really care about this? The Oddbear story just came so totally out the blue. I mean, I loved that. Absolutely loved that. Just no one gets wind of anything, and I can only think of a couple of signings where there's not been even a rumor. First one more recently was Luka Modric, where I hadn't got wind of that, and suddenly I think it was a Saturday morning, and we came up. Hi, Adrian. It came on. We'd signed Luka Modric from. I can't remember which club he came from now, but the Croatian club, and the Ozzy and Ricky thing, which was Adrian's old enough to remember that as well,
So am
where
I.
there was, I mean, for this, there'll be younger people in the chat that will have no concept of just how remarkable that transfer was. Not only because, I mean, going back to 1978 and before, a foreign player came from Scotland and an overseas player came from Ireland. There were virtually no proper foreigners, if I can call them that, in the game at all. And for somebody to come and literally, I mean, I think the Daily Express headline was Spurs scoop the world, and then bringing in two Argentines and World Cup winners at that was simply remarkable. But this lad just totally out of left field, and I've watched a montage. I think it might have been Adrian that put it together, or certainly sent it out. Boy looks good. I think the boy looks good, but more to the point, and there'll always be people that want to have a moan at everything we do. He's got the one thing that I think we've lacked in that final third, and that is pace. Ange ball requires that the ball in transition goes behind the fullbacks really, really fast, the opposition fullbacks, for wingers coming in, and then you've got either the fullback gone outside and the winger coming in, or more likely the winger going out and the inverted fullback coming in. But the point is the ball comes in, and it comes in quickly, where opposition defenders haven't got a chance to adjust. That's how the game is meant to be played. And it didn't happen too often. I think it might have been against Bournemouth. People remember the game, certainly the game that Van der Ven scored that. Yeah, absolutely. Smash the like, guy. Absolutely, guys. It helps all of our channels. The one where Van der Ven scored that lovely shot from the edge of the edge of the penalty area, and Johnny was quite rightly complaining. He called it horseshoe football, where I can't really do it on my phone, but the ball's going across and it's coming back across, and it's not getting behind the defenders at all. This boy can get behind defenses with his passing, with his pace. He's got a dig on him. Yeah. If this is what the analytics department are coming up with, then hopefully the analytics department are getting it right. And he's young. He's another youngster. I know, again, some people will want to see, established pros, 25, 26-year-olds. And maybe we'll still get one or two. But what I've seen of this boy, I absolutely, totally get why we signed him. And like in the same way, I totally get why we signed Solanke. Not glamorous, a lot of money for what he is. He's a £40 million player in my view. But if that's what you have to pay because there's a release clause and a club won't sell him, and you say that's the man for the job, that's what I want, that's the house that I want, yeah, it's overpriced, but that's the house I want my family to live on, then you pay the going rate. And people can't have it both ways. Levy doesn't spend the money, Levy doesn't back the manager, Levy doesn't get the manager that the players that the manager wants. Levy always goes for the cheap alternative. Well, let's see, because the manager seems to be getting the players he wants. If the manager can't deliver with the players he wants, then that's a different ball game. But the board seems to be giving the manager the players that he wants to play the football he wants.
Adrian, how's your day been, mate?
Good. Odegaard stats. I posted the stats up Believe it or not.
Odebert. We haven't got an Odegaard. We've got Odebert.
Odebert. Wilson Odebert. I do apologise, right? Yeah, his stats are identical to Nico Williams, so that might surprise a few, right? Which is good. And also, what Lang has done. I mean, this is excellent timing. The Friday before a new Premier League kicks off, by noon, you have to register your squad, right? The player was registered at 10:30 this morning, so he's eligible to play against Leicester on Monday. So this is good. How that affects whether we're done in the transfer window, I don't know. How that affects bringing new players in, because the window's still open until the 1st of September. I'm not too sure on that, but he's registered now, and he's going straight in the squad because I think he's getting the number 29 shirt or 28 shirt.
28 shirt that the club have announced.
So we're going in the squad. I watched the video of him. What I haven't seen, any long-range passing. I haven't seen any defensive qualities from him in the video. I watched the 8-minute video. He's tricky, plays on both wings, can play people in, but a little bit of the playmaker in him, but he's young, you know. But he's got the energy, dribbling, no problem going past men at all, inside, outside. He's good at that. He's got good vision. He's got that instinctive winger. I think most instinctive wingers, they don't know which way they're going when they're going with the ball, whether they're going inside or outside. I think they're sort of like the best wingers. And he's got that about him. But, you know, he's got to do it, isn't he? And it's like I said about Gray and Bergvall in comparison, you know, we need, although those players look good, I'm confident they will be stars, but it's not proven yet. You've got to wait and see those players get a few 90 minutes under their belts to see how their 18-year-old bodies hold up to the Premier League, because even though those have done that, and it'll be the same for Odebert. Like, you want to see him, like, you can see him coming on. I mean, as he can play on both wings, that is double handy, you know. So, yeah, I mean, what I've seen, I mean, when you compare him with players like Désiré Doué, who's gone to PSG, and other players quoted at 60 million and things like that, and he's like, we're led to believe he's 30 million, including the add-ons. It may be lower than that. You know what the media are like when it comes to making up figures. So, but he looks, we needed another winger, and we've got one in. And we've also got Mikey Moore, who I'm confident will be added to the squad. And I'm hoping, I really hope that, just a little bit off subject, I hope that because of others that we know are going out, I hope Lankshire's added as the third number 9 striker in the squad.
Yeah.
I hope he's added as well. And that will do me nicely. I wanted a left back. I wanted Eze, right? That's what I wanted. But, you know, we needed another wide player as well. And we've got one in. So, like, yeah, I'm feeling good. What about you, Jose? You watch a lot of these young players play. You've watched this guy?
Well, all I'm going to say, the reason why I've asked you two gentlemen how you are is because I have the privilege of being in the WhatsApp group with you. So I've been working all day, and I've seen what you've all been posting. And obviously I woke up this morning, and it wasn't straight away this morning, but the news did come out this morning, but not early, you know, it was whilst I was at work that it came out. And all these outlets immediately started saying about Odebert. And straight away I thought to myself, yesterday, right, and I'm not knocking people for this, but yesterday, all I heard is a lot of Tottenham's people, whether they be channels, whether they be fans, whether they be, you know, on X and YouTube and whatever have you, all creaming their pants because Brighton had signed, you know, Ruta from Leeds, from the Championship. They're all creaming their pants. But today, the same people that were creaming their pants and saying Brighton are doing it right and we're doing it wrong, we signed Odebert from the Championship, and all of a sudden we've got no ambition. But yesterday, Brighton had ambition. Brighton were doing it the right way. But today, we signed someone, we're doing it the wrong way. So it kind of makes me like laugh. So I just thought to myself, what I wanted to do is I wanted to get you both on to get your comments on what happened today. I'll go further to say, Ian, that this summer, right? Werner was only announced because someone was going to spill the beans, so they had to announce Werner. Other than that, Gray, Solanke, and now Odebert, Højbjerg going out, and that. The news coming out has been so quiet and so tight-lipped at Tottenham that all the ITKs, they never had Odegaard down as one of the ones that we were looking at. They didn't have Solanke, they didn't have Gray, they didn't have, everyone's getting it wrong, and people are being sucked in and believing everything. Now, maybe, I say maybe up until about 18 months or so ago, people like Fabrizio Romano and people like that, they may have been tier one sources, and they may quite have often got things right because there was no one there challenging them, if you get what I mean. But now even then, they're tier one sources, Ornsteins, all these people, none of them got wind at all that this is happening. All that happened this morning is that we signed the player. Now, I don't know how many people have got Sky and have got Sky or can get hold of a Sky program. On Sky documentaries, there's currently a program and it's called Mission to Burnley.
Right, I haven't seen it.
It's fly on the wall. It's about Burnley coming up. It's about Burnley and the new owners. And when they bought Vincent Company, season one, it's only four episodes for season one, right? And they follow Burnley through in the championship from the beginning and the players that they bought in, following through to the championship till they get promoted. Series 2 is obviously when they're in the Premiership. Obviously, they're now out of the Premiership, but they're the two series. So if you want to know about Odegaard and you want to know why Burnley bought Odegaard, their data team at Burnley will tell you why they bought him. If you just got to watch the program to see it, and if you want to see clips on Odegaard and how he plays and what he's like as an individual, then go and watch Mission to Burnley. It's there for everyone to see. I've watched the first series, and yesterday, this is how freaky it is. Yesterday, I finished watching the second 4 episodes from the second season, which is the season they were in the Premiership.
Did you? Yeah. Have either of you seen what Vincent Company said about Odegaard? Because
yes.
He was mainly Burnley.
Yeah.
But he was just so full of praise. He virtually told me and said, people should realise how good this kid is, basically what he was saying. So, and he was there with him. So, I mean, I've only watched the video. Obviously, the club have done all the data analysis. And obviously, this isn't just a bang signing like that, desperate signing. They've had their eye on him. So, like, fair play to Lange and the recruitment team.
I mean, I picked that. I think I posted it on, might have posted it on Eltel Cockerell's WhatsApp group and ours, Adrian, on the comparison with Nico Williams is quite frightening. And Nico Williams, I'm told, is staying at Bilbao, is that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's staying at Bilbao because Barcelona can't bring players in, and they've got Olmo, so they can't go for Nico Williams as well.
Yeah, my contacts in Spain. That sounds really good, doesn't it? Up my own arse, but
Destiny, he's French, mate. He's French.
Who? Nico Williams?
No.
Odegaard.
Yeah. Because Destiny 5's asking what nationality is. He's French.
Monsieur Odegaard. It sounds
Monsieur Odegaard is Francois.
It's he's très bien. I've spoken Spanish today now. French, Christ. Let's keep on with the English. My only question about that was with Vincent Company is, well, weren't Burnley in for him? But buying him for him. But maybe they've got enough, and maybe he's slightly below what they're requiring in the challenge for the Bundesliga and Champions League. But look, I think sometimes people it's horses for courses. As I say, I live in Scotland. I watched Ange ball and I watched Ange playing for Celtic, and it frustrated the hell out of me. The lack of ability to get behind defences, and I can understand why Ange is saying, we're not playing my kind of football. I need to make proper changes, and that's what he's doing. I mean, I think that Brennan Johnson and Son need to be. I don't think it's the ownership, Graham. I think. Look, I'm pretty ambivalent on the ownership. I think if you've got if Levy puts the right people in the right jobs and lets them do the jobs that they're paid to do, which he seems to be doing at the moment with Ange and with Lange and whatever, then I don't think the ownership matters. But yes, it might be this team takes 2 or 3 years. There was some comment about it came up on Spurs Express that because I was listening to this, I didn't pick up, but how impressed everybody is with Archie Gray. I think Bergvall is going to be a star. I would be starting with Bergvall on Monday night, but we'll see what the coach decides to do. But I tell you what, for all the fact that he's club captain, I don't think Sonny should be thinking he's guaranteed a starting place, because this boy can play on the left. Werner, for all his faults, he's got a lot of faults. The reason we brought him back is he understands what's required. He makes the runs. Half the problem, and I think other people have picked this up, is Udogie doesn't always pick up the runs when he's driving forward, and Werner gets into the positions and he doesn't give him the ball. That said, if Werner could hit the target more often, in fact, even if he could hit the target full stop, we'd have a world beater on our hands. But this boy looks like he can play, and he's 19, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a I think he's just under 5'10".
Yeah, he's bigger, quite big as well.
But he's got that bit of a. When you see him move with the ball, I think he looks better at the same period of time. If I was going to compare with anyone, I'd say he's sort of like Aaron Lennon. If you remember him,
yeah.
He's got a bit of the. He actually looks a bit better. I mean, like Lennon's main failing was he was a superb winger, but it's just more goals you could have done. This is my big bugbear with this team is more goals anyway, as you all know. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you've had that bee in your bonnet quite rightly, that if you're gonna win the league, you need to score, what is it, 95 goals or something?
Yeah, 90 goals at least. I mean, it won't always be so high, as it has been in recent years, because City have won it 7 out of the last 10, and they've a couple of times or 2 or 3 times they've scored over 100, whereas Arsenal got 90 and finished second.
Yeah, so you've got to work on the basis. I mean, obviously you've got to consider what you're conceding, and we know we're going to concede goals. Tottenham have always conceded goals. Even the best Tottenham sides have always conceded goals. It's the ability to score. I'm going to call it Vindaloo football. We're going to score one more than you, and that will do me. We won 5-4 every week. You get some great entertainment. But you're right. You're absolutely bang on. The wide players have got to be contributing. The midfield players and defenders, we know, get into some ridiculous positions, so they'll score. But that's where I think, he's got it right with Solanke. The position Solanke gets into and scores his goals from are exactly the positions that we deliver the ball in. His wide players deliver the ball into the box that we weren't converting last year. Sonny wasn't doing it. Richarlison wasn't doing it. So we ended up probably 30 goals short. So we've got to make that up. We've got to have a centre forward that's going to deliver 20-something goals, and the wide players have to deliver as well. But there's competition there. There's proper competition. And who's to say that's the end of the signings? Not sure it is.
I mean, I did the maths, as you know. I always do the maths. So if the figures are true, if it is 30 mil from and not 20 with 5 million add-ons and whatever, we spent about 139 mil. We haven't laid it out all in once. Obviously, some would be down. The rest would be amortized over 5 years of each player's contract. Do you know what I mean? Because that's you have to pay all your transfer fees over 5 years on the rules.
Yeah.
Not 8, like Chelsea said. You can sign players on a 10-year contract if you want, but you've got to pay the transfer fee over the 5-year period. That's the way it works. The new rule works. So that 139, if it is, but remember, we got 50 mil back in anyway, because you're looking at Emerson, Roden, you're looking at Højbjerg, Parrott. Well, those 4 come to 50 mil. I mean, you've got probably small amounts for Santiago and Niall John and things like that. So if you took that off, and I reckon we had 120 to 140 to spend, we could still get Eze if we really wanted him. But does Ange want him? That's the thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's right. I mean, I think that would be another left-sided defender, someone who can play left back, left centre, left centre half. But obviously, a big upgrade on Davis and that creative midfield player. I think we're seriously cooking. But Yeah, I was going to say something, and I've lost.
It's interesting
something else
because we're all playing Football Manager now. When it comes to doing our team selections, which we'll be doing tonight on my show tonight, I'm hosting tonight, and I hope Ian can make it. If with the team selections, there's so many permutations now. If you take the back four, if Spence comes in as the second player behind Porro, or do we still go for Vanderson and play Porro as a midfielder or as a winger, and then have Spencer's, because that Vanderson's good play. He's like you, doggy Mark too. I'd love it. Get him in. I would like to get him in, but actually, I think our more priorities. Well, we've got a plan ahead for a squad without Davis at the end of next season. We need a left back in, another quality left back in, or a centre back that can play at left back, but he's got to be good at left, because the difference is when you want a centre back to play left back. Even VDV said when he substituted a left back last season, he said it was exhausting because you've really got to be an up and down player. Whereas in his centre back position, he might only have to make 2 or 3 of those runs to outrun a striker who's trying to get past him, and he'll beat them to the ball. But he's not having to do that all the time, even when he goes up for corners and all that. But when you're in that wing back, sort of inverted fullback, whatever new Ponzi descriptive narrative you want to use for players these days, you've got to have some stamina on you to play an inverted style. You've got to have some stamina on you. So, yeah, I mean, I hope we're not done. I hope we still get one in. We'd all love Eze. Where'd you play him? But now, I mean, there's still this. We've got Lo Celso will go, won't he? As will Regulon, and as Højbjerg's gone as well. I still think Ange wants to get a midfielder in. If it's Locatelli just out of the Juventus side because the managers don't fancy him and all that, and there's no hidden pitfalls with him, then yeah, go get him for 20 mil, whatever it's 25. Go get him.
That would be the experienced player that people are crying out for. I'm not over fussed about their ages, although I accept that with a couple more experienced players. But I think what got me about pre-season, and I was at Hearts and I've watched all the other games on television, is that the older so-called experienced players, the Madisons, the Basumas, I know there's different issues with him, the Stars, and I know he's still young.
Whoops. Oh, well, I dare say I'll be back. Has he got the link again, or is he just his internet just gone pow? Someone's hacked him.
I think his internet's gone. Can I just say, Chris, I've just updated all your results, right? I don't know whether you're still in here, but I put a message there for Matthew, Gabriel 1, Inner Hype, because you've just joined. If any of you want to do the predictions, I will re-roll the fixtures and get you to put them in. So if you want to do them, say yes. And if you do, I'll bring the predictions up. I'll bring you the list of the fixtures, and then you can enter. I think he's lost at the moment, but he will be back. I think he might need to. He's either taking himself off,
a reboot,
or
his battery might have gone or something. I don't know. I mean, we're guessing, aren't we? We're guessing. Yeah, Spurs Graham GTT is right. It's one thing for certain. None of us know what's going on. That's a good
can I just stop and then we're carrying back because I've got Inner Hype says he wants to enter. So listen, Matthew, Gabriel 1, Inner Hype, anyone else that hasn't done the fixtures or the predictions and wants to do the live ones that we do here, then please give me Manchester United versus Fulham. So anyone that's in the watching and the chat and in the moment that's chatted or not chatted that wants to enter the predictions, the ones that we do live on the show, then this is the first game we need to look at. It's Man United Fulham. And then we can continue talking as well, Adrian, because I haven't finished.
Did you? Yeah, earlier when we was on the phone, weren't we? But I was just. You've seen this kid play for these junior tournaments?
No, I saw Odebert play last year for Burnley. I saw him play in the Premiership for Burnley. So I've seen. So Inner Hype, I've got your Man United Fulham. Anyone else want to enter Man United Fulham? I've seen him play in the Premiership last season. I saw the reason why he was bought. I've seen him play. I've read, apart from seeing the comments that have been made on the mission to Burnley and why they went for him and stuff like that, and what the data scientists were saying about him, I've also read what the French say about him, and the French say that he, at his age at the moment, that he has a higher bar, if people want to call it that, than what Elise had at that age, and than what Kingsley Coman had at that age. So
What about Desire Doué? Because he's French
yeah,
as well.
he was higher than Doué, higher than all of them at his age, because he's only 19 now. But he's 19 and he's already represented the under 21s. So he's an under 21 international. He's still 19. Now, I will say, in all honesty, the French seem to have a dearth of major talent in all age groups coming through, and they're being sold to clubs for like bundles of money. So who's to say that we haven't trapped one? You know, who says that we have? When I say trapped, I don't mean it like literally trapped one, but who's to say that we haven't caught one? You know, and could be a good player for us in the future, and maybe we'll have a player on our hands that will have some big time resale value later on down the line. Who's to say that's not going to happen? You know?
Yeah, it seems to go in eras with countries, and we've got some great youngsters coming through at England. We just need a manager who knows how to use them properly, to utilise them properly. Yeah, but like you say, the French have got a great bunch. The Spanish have got some good youngsters coming through, Jose. You know that as well as we do. You know Spain better than me. I mean, and they have. I'm not so sure much for the Germans and the Italians are in a bit of decline, aren't they?
Sorry, in a hype. As we continue talking, mate, you carry on putting your predictions to Ipswich versus Liverpool. Don't worry about us. We'll continue talking. You put your predictions in, and I'll add them. Carry on. Sorry, Adrian.
I mean, I go back with Ian like to the 70s total football, which Spurs were pioneers of, believe it or not, back in the day, and through Peter McWilliam and Vic Buckingham, right? And Vic Buckingham managed Ajax and he managed Barcelona as well. People wouldn't even know that, Spurs manager. You know, he won the FA Cup with West Bromwich Albion when he moved on. He won the FA Amateur Cup with Pegasus, which was the joint amateur university team of Oxford and Cambridge. I mean, like Spurs had a bit, and then Dutch in the 70s. I mean, what a group of players they had. You know what I mean? So they went through their era, didn't they? The Cruyff era and that. And you know, you had prior to the early 70s. There, you had the early group of Bayern. Bayern won the Champions League or the Europa Cup. They won it 3 years on a spin back then as well, and the Dutch won it. So now it's recent. The French and the Spanish have been sort of at the forefront because Spain have won the World Cup and the European Championship, and the French have as well. So and the French seem to be sort of coming back a bit now, don't they? They do.
So I'm going to go back. Sorry, let's just go to this comment, right? Sorry, Dan. I don't know if he's still here, but he says to me, Jose, mate, you wanted established players brought in now. I remember you saying that a couple of weeks ago. I want to know your thoughts about our thinking this transfer window, because established it ain't. Right. So for me, in all honesty, when I saw the Odegaard deal had been done this morning, my thoughts were straight away, do you know what? He's not going to be costing loads of money. He is one that will be around the first team, can affect now and the future, but it then means I think it frees up money for other areas. So I think to myself, there are still players out there that can be had that are decent, established players that can still be had, and Tottenham can still move for these for players. Who they move for, I really don't know, because we've all been wrong. Well, no, we're not all been wrong, but there's a lot of people that have been sucked into the narrative that we're going for the people that are stated on social media, and the fact is we haven't gone for the players that are stated on social media, or we haven't signed the players. The only thing is, I mean, Tottenham haven't even said it as a club, but the in the knows are saying that Tottenham did bid for Neto, but with Oliver Skip as part of it. Now, at the end of the day, Mr. Postecoglou did an interview a week or so ago, and he talked about getting the right players to the club and having players that wanted to come to Tottenham and wanting to play for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Not players that were turning around and saying, well, you know what, I've got a better offer somewhere else and they're offering me X amount of money and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want mercenaries. He wants players that are all in, that want to play for the club.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, if they've spoken to Neto and they've spoken to Odegaard, and they've got a feeling from Odegaard that he's 110% behind Tottenham and joining Tottenham, but Neto wanted to piss in the wind and say, I've got like all these mad offers and that, then of course they've gone down the route of signing Odegaard. Same could have happened with Solanke. They might have been in for other strikers, or they might have had a list of other strikers, spoken to a few of them, but they've plumped for Solanke because he wanted to come to Tottenham 120%. And that's what we've got to understand. You've got to understand the manager when he talks, right? And he wants players just playing for the club that want to come, that have got something to prove and want to come to the club. And that's what I think is happening. But to answer your question, Daniel, I think that today's bit of business could be good for first team and for future, but could also free up money for other signings. Sorry, carry on, lads. In a
And he goes on the B list, so it doesn't affect the foreign quota, does he?
No.
Which is good, because I was thinking that we're waiting to get rid of Regular and Lo Celso before we bring them in. If I was putting my house on it, it'll be a midfielder that comes in before the window closes, because we've lost Regular and Lo Celso will go. I think the left back, because you've got Davis at cover there at centre back, I think that's covered. I think Spencer's been given a reprieve. I don't trust him fully yet. He does look good going forward. He has redeemed himself, but I want to see him show. Mind you, I was very critical of Porro and his defensive qualities when he first started. He's turned it around. So, like, I'm not anti-Spence or nothing like that, but but trying to think what the club are doing, and I think midfielder is going to be our last signing. So whether it's Eze, whether it's Ramsey, whether it's Morgan Gibbs-White, I haven't got a clue, right? I would like it to be Eze, but as we all would. But I don't know if it's for Ange's system now with Bergvall and Decky can play as the
Sorry, Adrian, can I just say, Dave Williams, thank you for being here. Finn, nice one, thank you for being here. Listen, if you guys want to enter the Manual Predictions League, the show that we do today, I need a score for Everton versus Brighton. So if any of you two want to enter, can you please just put your score for Everton Brighton, and I will add you to the list as we go along. So we'll be talking, and because we've already done it, nearly 30 people have already done this, so we're now rolling back. So Dave Williams, Finn Rickwood, anyone else that's in the chat that wants to join in the predictions, just Everton Brighton, give me your score, and while we're talking, I'll bring the other fixtures up, and you just type them in, and we'll carry on, and I'll add you all in. Sorry, go on, Ian. You were going to say, mate.
Yeah, I probably a little bit of repetition, but it's going on what Adrian said about the players and wanting to come. And if Neto did turn round and say, well, I've got an offer from Chelsea and I'm considering, from what I read from what Ange was saying, he was saying, well, thanks very much. That's great. You consider those other offers. We won't be pursuing this any further. It seems to me, and particularly with what he saw at the end of last season, is either you're all in with a cause or you're out of the club. There's no, I think it's a good idea. There's none of that. You're either fully on board with this project or you leave. And as I say, I can't emphasize enough when I saw the montage of this boy and thinking that's exactly what Ange wants. Exactly what Ange wants in terms of a player is direct, he's skillful, he's got a shot on him. I just, he's only 19, but if he was 25, what difference does it make? If you're good enough, you're old enough. And it's just a signing. I just see what Ange is trying to achieve. I still think we're still lacking in certain areas. I think if Solanke got injured, we're back to Richarlison and Son, and Richarlison spends as much time as he does horizontal as on the treatment table as he does vertical on the pitch. So I still think there's a bit to go. I mean, I would love it if I read tomorrow that Richarlison was in Saudi Arabia and was signing, because then I think we would buy another striker. But the club is moving in the right direction. I think, for so long we've criticised the direction the club was going in. In fact, the thing I was going to say earlier when my phone rang and I had to cut it off was, the people critical of the chairman and with a lot of things they're absolutely 100% right. Possibly the worst thing that happened under his leadership was when the news of Martin Yeol's sacking was all round the ground, and the poor man was sitting in the dugout when it was I was watching on the television, but they're saying, they've got stuff come up on their phone that Martin Yeol's been sacked. I mean, how that was allowed to leak was an absolute bloody disgrace. But here's a story where a player, as I say, someone said in the chat, I'm trying to follow the chat in case there's anything that's that I feel I need to respond to, or someone said something to me that I need to respond to. And let's
Sorry,
say,
can I just say,
yeah,
David
please.
David Shear's here. Good afternoon. Sorry, it's good evening to you, David Shear. Right, if you want to enter the predictions, the show ones, David, I've currently got it on screen. Give me your Everton Brighton score, and then I'll roll it on because Inner Hype's doing it at the moment. So I've left it on here just to give you a chance. I didn't want to cut through while the gentleman was speaking. So if you want to play, David, Gabriel 1, Matthew, and Finn, and Dave Williams, if you want to play, give me your predictions for Everton Brighton. And then what we'll do is we'll continue talking. And as we do, I'll bring up the next game and you lot just keep typing it in and I'll grab all your results that way. Yeah. So if you want to play the ones that I've just mentioned or anyone that hasn't played as yet, put your results in now. We will continue talking and I'll just keep bringing the fixtures up. You just keep adding your predictions in and I'll keep adding them while the gentlemen are speaking. Sorry, Ian.
Yeah, no, I'll waffle for a bit while people can put their scores in to give them time. Yeah, I mean, just picked up in the chat there. Yeah, what happened with Modeun, classless was, I think, David's comment. Absolutely, there's no justification for that. And someone else said I've taken it off because I want to talk into the screen, but about there appears to be a plan. Again, another criticism is everything that Levy's done appears to have been piecemeal. It's one bit here, one bit there. I'll sack this manager, get another one in. When he brought in, he got rid of Pochettino, because I think the word I heard, and I'm inclined to believe this, is Mourinho told him, I can win trophies with this squad. And at a time we was building the stadium, I can imagine that appealing to Levy, not having to spend any money on the team when he had money to find for the stadium. I sort of get that, but that was a disaster. He's then persuaded to bring in Nuno, who the world and his wife could have told him that he wasn't good enough and he wasn't a proper fit for Tottenham, and his style of football wasn't going to work. That turned to be a disaster, and the Levy out shouts went round the ground in that that Man United game that we got beat at home. And then he brings in Conte, another serial winner. Great. But Conte manages one way. You give him the job, you give him an absolute shed full of money. He goes and spends it, wins you a league, chucks a grenade into the dressing room, and it all goes belly up. Same thing happened with Tottenham, only we didn't win anything. The grenade still went into the dressing room. Now, someone said there appears to be a plan. This is why the and you'll be gone by October, and you'll be gone by Christmas. I don't think. I mean, unless we lose 10 of our first 11 games, or 2 points in 8 games, Harry, he won't be going anywhere. There is a football team. Scott Munn, is it, that worked with him in Japan, was probably the prime.
Oh, Ian's gone. I don't know what, maybe his phone again. Yeah, to take on that, I mean, like, the whole structure of the football inside of the club has changed from the top down. I mean, like, Levy's is supposedly handed the reins to Scott Munn, or basically just handed him the amount of money plus player sales that he's allowed to spend in a transfer window. So you've got Scott Munn, and you've got the new guy, Johan Langer, director of football, come from Aston Villa, right? Frederick Left came from Aston Villa as well. He's head of strategy, right? I'm doing all this off my head. Andy Scolding is now head of recruitment and pathways for the academy. Then you've got, below that, you've got Rob McKenzie as chief head scout. And then you've got Max Leggett, if we took off of Bayern Munich, as the first team scout. And then you go down to the coaching staff. This is all off my head. You've got Matty Wells has been promoted to first team coach now. Curtis left to go and join Birmingham. But you've got Milo Jedinek, who came from Villa. Ryan Mason, who's existing there. Then you've got the 2 guys brought in that one that had a successful stint in Australia with Mariners, which are Sergio Romendo and Nick Montgomery. They've come in, and they were also with Hibs, and might probably know that, and the Scottish under-21. So them. So
big reputation, Adrian. Sorry,
Yeah.
my phone goes and I'm having to cut it off, but
Yeah.
then I'm getting locked out.
So
Sorry.
that's 5 first-team coaches, and then you've got Rob Birch, who's the goalkeeping coach. So that's 6. So a little bit, guys, in the chat, I get when fans get a bit desperate and wanting solutions and saying, we need a set-piece coach. I think we got enough coaches, and coaches should know how to defend from set pieces. I think we got enough coaches to sort our ills out, right, defensively. So it's not that. And on top of that, for the under 21s down to our under 9s, we know that Wayne Burnett runs the under 21s and Stuart Lewis runs the under 18s. But because Southampton were successful with their youth policy and bringing through, we've took Mark Chapman and Danny Moody from Southampton as well for a group. So the whole footballing side of the club, and it's been long overdue, has been totally revamped and for the better. And the year before last, our under 21s were nearly relegated, even though our under 18s and under 17s won 2 League Cups in their respective age groups, you know. But then this year, the under 21s, with the few additions, they win their league and they win the playoff cup as well. So, now I'm not expecting the same this season. If a few of them need to be loaned out, so that the under 21s, in theory, will be weakened, but we don't know who's coming through behind them, right? So,
sorry, I don't know.
So
people got stuck on. Okay, so David Shear, you've come in and you've done the Forest, but in a hype, you haven't done a couple of results now, so I don't know whether you're still here. So I'm going to keep showing I'm going to keep showing the fixtures for people that do want to enter the predictions. So there we are with the next one. We're going to carry on talking. I'll bring the predictions up on screen. You carry on adding them in.
I'm laughing my head off because there's a comment in the that says,
Graham,
Adrian, we can't sign any more coaches because Chelsea have booked them all to drive this.
Yeah, no, it's Graham. Yeah, cutting them out. Yeah, that was just a brief. That was my brief synopsis because I study all aspects of the club and watch the under 21s, watch all the games. That's the brief synopsis of that. But then again, when you look, as Ian's alluded to earlier, that we've had some very good transfer windows recently. Now, before, our transfer policy was disastrous. Now, we have what I like to use the term, we have failed better in the transfer window. We have failed
in a hype. I need your Newcastle Southampton one as well, please. Go on, carry on.
I think, Adrian, I'll take up if you're doing something there. When you judge transfer windows, you've got to judge what's going out as much as what's going in. And it must be 3, 4, 5 windows. People have said, we've got to get rid of the Deadwood. We've got to get rid of the Deadwood. This one has to go. That one has to go. The Deadwood's going. It's not all gone, but hell, Christ, we've chopped down some bloody trees this transfer window. We have got rid of a lot of ordinary players taking a big wage, players that have got to fill in a squad place that are never ever going to get a regular start in the team. So I'm really, really happy. I still think there'll be more to go. I think Solomon will go, Lo Celso will go, and I think Reguilon's gone, but I think he'll go as well. And that hopefully will create some money as well. So I still think there'll be incomings, as Adrian said. But I genuinely think this club is very much on a forward trajectory. I don't see any possibility, barring 2 points from 8-day games where everybody panics, that Ange leaves. More importantly, he's getting in the players to play the football he wants. When you look at any Ange interview, he talks about our football, quote, our football. And I think before long, you're going to be seeing our football. And it might be different players. It might be Gray playing. It might be Bergvall playing. It might be Odegaard playing. Son may be out, whatever. And I think you're going to see a very, very different Tottenham with players playing exactly the kind of football that Ange wants. And at its best, it's an absolute joy to behold. There'll be people queuing outside the ground trying to get in without a ticket because the football he plays when it's at its best is spellbinding. And I'm starting to get excited. I really am.
I am. I mean, this is the thing, you see, and you fans in the chat and elsewhere, I understand when people have been disappointed and so they're not might not be as enthusiastic as I am, and I get accused of being delusional, and long may it continue. I mean, like, and that's because I go in with a season with hope. I've always stated that I'm fortunate enough to be a season ticket holder. I'm fortunate enough to live a mile and a half from the ground. I can walk there in 40 minutes and back, you know, and I wouldn't leave my front door if I thought we were going to lose a home game. But that's just the way my mind works. I have to be positive because I'm going to the game, you know, and I'm paying a lot of money to go and watch a game.
Yeah,
you know?
of course.
So it's the same again, right? And the difference, let me tell you the difference between hope and belief in my mind's eye, right? Hope, you go into a season, every team goes in hope, even lower league teams, that they're going to have a cup run or get promoted, avoid relegation or whatever. That's hope, right? And you hope that you're going to have a good cup run. I mean, we don't know. In the League Cup and FA Cup, the first hit, we could get drawn away to two of the top teams and go bang, bang, and out. I'm expecting us to win the Europa League this year. That's my number one. FA Cup, I'm not even going to think about it till the first week in January because it doesn't come around then, right? It's not. Tell you the difference. Ian will probably remember this. I'm a little bit older than him, or maybe a lot. I don't know. And I am in the 80s. I experienced the reason my Spurs immune system is so strong is because I was relegated with Spurs in 1976-77.
Yeah,
worst
So was I.
experience I've ever. You know, and I followed the team around the second division. We got promoted. In 78, Argentina win the World Cup. We get Ozzy Ardiles and Ricardo Villa. We'd already bought Steve Archibald for 800 grand, and then we go and get Crooks from Stoke for 600,000. And you watch the following season. This is where I'm going to switch from where my hope to belief comes. When you watch that team play, after all the fans had suffered with relegation and come, and you see the football, this futuristic football, guys. I mean, we know Argentina looked good with Kempes up front with Ardiles and Villa and Luque and whatever playing for them when they won that World Cup, right? Carlos, I forget the guys.
Carlos Bilardo, Daniel Passarella was the captain.
Passarella, yeah, and all that. Well, I remember them, right? And then I'm talking to mates, and you used to have more mates than you've got now. Obviously, as we're old, have drifted away. But you went into that following season. You didn't go in with hope. You went in belief. We knew we were going to win the FA Cup. We knew this team was going to do stuff for the next few years. You didn't know. You hoped it never ends because you always do when you win something. You hope it never's going.
Yeah,
that's never going to end. But that was belief. Now I get accused of being delusional, but I won't say I can go in this season with belief. I can't. That would be a lie. But I'm excited like hell, and I'm going. It's a bright. Spurs have got a bright future, right? It's exciting times to be a Spurs fan, and I'm going into this season with renewed hope, because I see the foundations that have been placed here, and I, you know, and that is what has, you know, it's inspired me a bit. It's inspired me. I like what I've seen. I like the changes. I like what I've seen. Long way to go though. We're treading water at the moment though. We're treading water.
Sorry, can I just say, in a hype, I've got all your scores, mate. David Shear, this is now for you, and for anybody else that might want to join in. You're now here, David Shear. There's 3 more results I need from you, starting with this one. These are the 3 that you missed. Sorry, carry on, lads.
Yeah, I mean, I'll come in, and it's Spurs Express. Spurs are still investigating 2 positions. I'll have to pick up that. I can't read that and follow you guys. But I mean, yeah, I mean, for particularly for younger people, I mean, we nearly got relegated in 74, 75. I mean, it had been almost relegation in 76, 77 was almost came as a blessing, and relegation one didn't cost you as much as it does now. The financial impact of relegation isn't as bad, but it was almost like the patient being put out of their misery because it had been horrific. The football had been horrific. The players were disinterested. You could go to you could go to the games and there was 18, 20, 22,000 in there. You could see the crush barriers. And then we got relegated, and we suddenly, you know, Keith Birkinshaw got the job. We gave him the opportunity to bring in Hoddle and Ardiles to learn, and you know, who were Hoddle and McNabb, who were, you know, young talents. We got promoted. The Argentines came that first season back. We were really, really solid defensively. and in midfield, but we didn't have anything up front. We had Jones and Armstrong up front. They were okay, but they were journeyman pros. And as you say, we bring in Crooks and Archibald, and then all of a sudden we really do have a team. And a couple of years later, 81 we win the cup, 82 we win the cup, 83 we should have won the League Cup. But Archibald was one-on-one with Grobbelaar when we were one up with about 7 or 8 minutes to go at Wembley. Grobbelaar saved him. I think it was Steve Nicol equalised in the last minute. We lost 3-1 in extra time. But
yeah, and a big point on that was Graham Souness did Tony Galvin. I don't remember that tackle on the wide on the wing.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. But then, of course, we won the UEFA Cup in '84. You were probably there, Adrian. I was there. One of the greatest nights as a Spurs supporter. The old White Hart Lane, under the lights, hell of a noise, penalty kicks. I mean, just an unbelievable night. And I think those days are coming. But again, if you go back, the old board, they stuck with Keith Birkinshaw when he got them relegated the first year. Yeah. The players said, we want Birkinshaw, we want Birkinshaw. They stuck with him. He got them back, and and probably apart from the 60s, that was the best era in this club's here.
And you were adding Archibald, Crooks, Ardiles, and Vila to what you had. You had Hoddle, Perryman, and Galvin. So you added them to them. I mean, it was a cracking team. It was a cracking team. I remember Stevie Perryman turn around. I mean, Perryman, 850 odd games. No player's going to beat that in the modern team, right?
No.
And because he won the League Cup, he won 2 League Cups and a UEFA Cup in '72. Now, 12 years later, he's winning the UEFA Cup again. In '84, he won 2 League Cups, 2 FA Cups, and 2 UEFA Cups, 6 trophies. And most fans don't even know that 6 trophies he won. And that's without all the junior stuff he won.
David Shear, you are in. I've got all your fixtures, mate. You are in. So I've brought everyone up to date. So I'm glad. Hope you're happy listening to these young men giving you education about Tottenham whilst I'm doing the predictions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the chat while other people are talking. Spurs GCTV, who I think is another Graham, because I think I got some stick calling Coover Graham. I mean, I don't think he objects to being called by his real name.
No,
his other stuff is Graham, but absolutely. I mean, I remember Hoddle debuting as a 17-year-old, scoring as a 17-year-old, and thinking,
"There's his comment for you."
Wow! This boy can play, and I've got no problem with these young players. And I said, from what I've seen, and I've seen all the pre-season games, it's when the kids have come on, particularly for the second half. There's been more energy, there's been more purpose, there's been more chances created. Everything about it. So if these kids come in and they do a job, we might surprise a few people. I got no problem. I've always been a believer, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And some of these kids look really good. David, you made another comment as well about you don't think we were seriously about Eze because we've gone and spent 25 million quid on Odebear. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that there was talk about us spending 60 million or whatever plus 40 million plus Skip or whatever it was for Neto, and he didn't want to come. I think this has proved to be. It may even been our second choice. I don't know. We don't know, and that's the good thing. We don't know. We were always going to buy a right winger, and I think if we are looking for a midfield player, then I don't think that comes out the Eze money. I really don't. I think we must still have money there. You don't either.
No, I think the money's there. If we want in, the money's there. The thing is, with previous managers here, we know, like, when we needed a player, we knew the manager wanted. All right, and Bill Nix, you didn't hear about it. It just happened. Chivers came in for 125 grand. You didn't hear about it. It might have been a hint, but like that was it. But even like with Lang now, I'm glad he keeps his cards close to his chest and doesn't do anything. And the interesting thing was when we go back when the transfer window first opened, it said Langers had talks with Crystal Palace. Now that is very revealing, because if you read between the lines, we're only talking about Eze, right? Now you wouldn't be talking to Crystal Palace about one of their players if your intermediaries hadn't already spoken with Eze to see if he wanted to come. So, and they're like, Eze's family had a box, we're invited to a box at Spurs, all with the CAA base agency, which Eze's with, Porro's with, Ange is with, you know. So there are they've got lots of players on their books. So I think the talks are there. I don't think Eze's a dead deal. I don't know if Palace have brought in. I know they brought in that another number. They brought in cover for Elise. Ideally, I know they'd want to keep him, but if there is a release clause, I think we've got the money, but they're not getting it. They're not getting it all in one hit. That's for sure. We're not going to go here 60 million straight down, and we'll pay you the 8 million. Like, that's not happening. I mean, with something like Solanke, 30 million down, we would do the deal. I think we would do the deal. But now Man City are sniffing because who's injured now for City? Is De Bruyne injured again? Or have they got a midfield injury?
No, who was it who got injured? No, Bob.
Scott. Scott. Yeah.
Has got injured. I mean, I do worry a little bit about City coming in because City will just throw the money at it. Unfortunately, the only thing that you would worry about if you were Edsy's agent or his advisor, are you saying, look, City's are great, it's the biggest club in the country, just go there, they'll pay you all the money you want? Or are you saying your problem there is you'll be vying with De Bruyne, you'll be vying with Foden, you'll be vying with this one. You might not get the game time if you want to play for England regularly. The other thing is, what are you going to do because we're now seeing these disciplinary charges are going to be heard. It might take 5 or 6 months or whatever. But what are you going to do then if they get relegated? Even if they get relegated for 2 seasons or whatever, you're at the heart, you're at the peak of your career. Are you going to stay there and come back up when you could have been an England player? Because playing in the Championship isn't going to get you an England place necessarily. So it's more than just money. It is more than just money. And if you're getting, I mean, they were talking about 55,000 a week for Bissouma. Now, you think, well, that's not much in today's age. Only when you put it into a calculator, it's 2,800,000 and whatever, thousands. That's a lot of money. So it doesn't matter if Manchester City are going to pay you 3.5 million. If you're playing in a team that for a team that you can't necessarily get a regular game in, or you're like Grealish. Grealish is a classic example. Yeah, they paid the money. The buyout clause was 100 million, but he's not getting a regular gig there. They get Edsy. Fine, but is it in his best interest to go there? So there's all kinds of considerations. I don't think just because City are in for him, and we don't know. Just because they might be in for him doesn't mean he necessarily goes there.
Yeah, I'd also think if you're Eze, surely you want to move. Surely you'd want to move to a bigger club anyway, where you got a chance to win something. I mean, he will be looking at, even now, he would know that we've got these players in, right? So he'll know there's competition for his places at Man City. And he's in London, like he's based there. So there's no disruption for him.
Yeah, but you don't know. Sorry, with the Eze deal, gentlemen, what you don't know, and what none of us know, is what's happening at the Crystal Palace end of this, because you got at the moment they've sold Elise. Elise's gone. You got Newcastle testing the waters on Guehi. They've now gone in with a £65 million bid for Guehi, right? Palace are in no rush to sell. They don't have to sell players.
No.
Right, so you can't go and bend Palace over because that's not going to happen. They don't have to. They're not forced. You've got someone. I can't remember if it's Fulham or West Ham or someone has bid 20 million for Joachim Anderson as well. So you've got bids going in for Anderson, bids going in for Guehi. They may have had a chat with Eze already, right? Who knows? And said to him, look, let's say for the argument's sake, let's say Guehi is going, right? And I don't know whether he is. They could have turned around and said to him, look, what we'll do is we'll up your money. Or we'll make you club captain and stick with us for this season, and we will let you go. Gentlemen's agreement, we'll let you go next season. You don't know
Yep.
what's happening at Palace.
Don't.
Now, at the end of the day, whether people are prepared to meet clauses, if there are clauses there, if they are able to meet clauses, they aren't able to meet clauses. The one thing we know at the moment, or we believe we know, because we rely a lot on the crap that's in social media, is nobody's saying that they've talked to Palace about Eze. No one's put any bids in for Eze. So nobody's done nothing. Now, to me, if someone like Eze was on the market, and I'm talking about being on the market, so if you put your house up on the market for sale, everybody knows it's for sale. You'll get people bidding for your house if you've got a good house. It's the same as Eze. If Eze is on the market, teams will be bidding for Eze. I'm not too sure whether Eze is looking to leave at all. That's just my opinion. It could be that. Sorry, it's not my opinion, but that's just giving another thought, is what I'm trying to say.
Can you bring up David Clark's comment as he is adamant that he wants to stay in London? Can you bring that one up?
Sorry, bear with me a second. Whereabouts is that one? How far up?
It's 2 from the bottom, I think. David Clark, as he is adamant he wants to stay in London.
Oh, sorry, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, like possibly, right, David. But my rebuttal to that is the fact that if Arsenal were going to pay 68 million for Eze, when their priority lies with a striker, they'd be far better going to get Gyökeres, the striker in Portugal, than they would. They don't need the midfielder. They don't need him. You know, they've got wingers. I mean, they could still go for him. I mean, he would improve their squad, but they don't. I know they scored 90 goals last year, but they could do with an out-and-out striker up front. They could do with Gyökeres up front for them. Would probably do a great job for them. And like Sporting have dropped their price down lower, you know. But you know, even like Chelsea, I don't think they've got the money without breaking the rules to go and get Osimhen from Napoli. Or whether he would leave as well because they haven't Champions League football. So,
sorry, can I just say on what you just said, Adrian? First of all, Hanno, I've got all your predictions, mate. They are all in now. What I'm going to remind people, sorry, while we're talking about this, I will remind people that we've also got 2 other competitions going on, and I'm just fearful that you've got half an hour left to pick your starting lineups for tonight's Fantasy Premier League, if that's your interest and you fancy doing that. So if you're going to do Fantasy Premier League, there in the chat, and it's on my community page, is the link for Fantasy Premier League and the code to enter for LTL Cockerel. If you want to do the Premiership, the scores, but you want to do it electronically, because it's a different competition, it's got goals for and against, then that's also within the chat and on my community page, and it's premierleague.predictthefootball.com, and you enter that code and it takes you straight into the LTL League. Right, what I was going to say to people is I watched it's on YouTube, gentlemen. There was a David Ornstein was on TalkSport, and he was explaining how Chelsea have got around FFP and PSR, right? And I didn't. It kind of threw me because I didn't exactly understand what he was talking about, because I understood it one way, but the way he explained it was another. So what he turned around and said is that they've gone and sold. Who have they sold? They sold a player, right, this season or whatever. So let's say they sold someone for someone like Gallagher. If they get £50 million for Gallagher, that 50 million goes on your books right now.
Yeah, it counts as profit.
Okay, goes in your books right now. But if they bought a player and the initial outlay was 20 million, but then or 10 million is the initial outlay, and then you're monetizing it over, then basically they're £40 in credit. Let's say 40 million in credit. And that's the way that Chelsea are getting around their business at the moment. And Chelsea, so at the end of the day, I keep saying to people, I don't believe in PSR, FFP. I don't believe in all that bullshit anymore, right? Because there are some very clever and astute people out there that belong to clubs, and we should have them people as well, by the way, gentlemen. But there's some very astute and clever people that have gone and they've found the way and found the loophole to get away with all this stuff. And do you know what I say? I say well done to all them clubs for employing the right kind of people who were forward thinking to get around these rules. We obviously weren't forward thinking, because all we were saying was We've won we've won FFP, we've won PSR. We're gonna have we could drop bombs in the summer transfer window.
Right.
We've not been able to do that because we got our pants pulled down.
Here's my prediction then, Jose. Chelsea were going to get done badly, really badly, and I'll explain in a minute. And Man City are going to get stuffed as well, but not as bad. What Man City have done, if you believe the reports in the Times and the Guardian and things like that, what they've done is they've had inflated sponsorship deals, basically companies in group owned by their owners, larger than life sponsorship deals, which you wouldn't get as a normal club other than any other company. And they've tried to siphon money into Man City through indirect ways, you know. Chelsea, now you take Chelsea from the very beginning. What fans should understand is when Roman Abramovich came into this country, and like lots of other oligarchs that have come, they're bringing millions into the economy. They're ignored by the government, but the government have got their eye on these people. They watch them, they sit on them, they act against them when it suits them. When it suits them to go after them, they will, right? Roman Abramovich, even though he's pumping all this money in this country, was refused British citizenship. This is before the crap hit the fan. Now, you have to ask yourself, reading between the lines, hang on, this guy's creating, like, putting millions in the economy. He normally end up with a knighthood or a house in the Lords, right? But he's been refused British citizenship. Then you go through and all that. Then there was an article, I'm not sure it was the one in the Times or the Guardian, that come out and said about one of the women executives at Chelsea was giving millions in money funded out through the club to buy property in London.
Yeah, Marina Granic-Strosvaya or whatever her name was.
Yeah, you had rumours about William, when they nicked him from us, as we nearly signed him in the last seconds, they nicked him from us, how his wages and stuff was paid by an offshore company. And Chelsea haven't had no charges yet, which looks worse for them because it means that there's more, well, Ian knows the law, there's a lot more digging being going on. There is so much stink coming out around Chelsea, it's unreal. I mean, why then would you say, apart from what, Abramovich just walks away from a club that's worth $2.5 billion without taking a penny? If the government ain't saying to him, if you fight this, we're taking you to court, you're going to prison. Go quietly, you know, with nothing, and you get to go. I think he's in Turkey, Abramovich. There's so much with Chelsea that is worse that has gone on than we know, that especially when they're writing about it in the Times and the Guardian. These aren't crap papers, you know, whether they're your favourite broadsheets or not. And I mean, like, them stories that come out about illegal payments for offshore companies through Chelsea to pay players' wages, all that stuff like that. Great for us fans, because whenever I argue with a Chelsea fan, so, you told me you won these trophies. No, you cheated. Your trophies are bent. I say that to Man City fans as well. About trophies, all yours are illegal, and they shut up. There's nothing they can say.
Okay, but you're talking about Chelsea, but it's not just Chelsea. You know, the PSR, FFP stuff, there's loads of clubs that have got
round. Leicester City, Forest, Villa, Newcastle, all had to tighten their belts. Now, we don't know their accounts, but they're all rumoured to be victims of it. Leicester, before they went down, and they sort of thought that we got relegated, it won't affect us, we're not in your division no more. But now back up, they're probably failing to get relegated because they're going to get a points deduction.
David Shears is asking the question, is it true that Leicester is getting points deducted? Now, I've heard rumours saying that people think they're going to get 6 points deduction, but I don't know whether that's happened. I don't think it has, because the league tables currently has them on 0. So I don't think the points deductions have been given their way yet. So I don't know whether that's going to happen, but it is what it is. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, that's interesting. In all honesty, it is laughable, Destiny 5. But Destiny 5 says, does this mean we get handed the League Cup when City beat us? Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't want it. Not like that. I wouldn't want it like that.
Well, you know, it's just laughable. It's laughable that he's saying that in there. You know, will the teams, if Man City were found guilty for what they did for every single year, will the teams be handed? So will they take their titles away from them, and the teams that came runners up get their titles? Will they take the Champions League final away from them and give that to whoever they beat? You know, is this going to happen? All this stuff, nobody knows. It's laughable.
No, it won't happen. And the reason I say it won't happen is because the Premier League, then you've got your arbitration team set up to deal with this, so as it looks independent, right? They then find them guilty in all those accounts. you don't take them away because that looks bad on the Premier League. Why didn't you do something about this before? Why didn't you stop this from happening? Why didn't you have the rules in place to sort all this out beforehand, right? And now you've spent over £30 million taking teams to call our money, right? And we've yet to see any results from all these political review, these judicial reviews and like arbitrations and things like that, because you've dragged your feet over this. The system for bringing these people to justice has to be speeded up. There has to be a quicker system of doing it with, you still got to have justice, but it's got to be done a lot quicker. It can't be allowed to be dragged out, because what it does, it drags the Premier League further in the mud. They've been crap, right? Those running the Premier League, they've been crap, not opening a transfer window when the season closes. There's so many things they've been guilty of. But now they've got the football regulator hanging over their head. So they've got to be seen to be act. And Labour have pushed it through. It came through. It went through without any votes against in Parliament. Must be a lot of football lovers in Parliament.
Right. So I'm gonna. Ian's got to shoot, right, and I've got to get ready to go to football. But gentlemen, can I thank you both for coming on? Obviously, it's a prediction show, but there was some football to talk about, and it was good to get you both on and get your opinions.
Always a pleasure.
Can you tell everyone, because you're both from the same channel, so I'll let you both have a go at it, but tell everyone where you can be found and when you're going to be on, mate.
Well,
go on, Adrian, you start, because you're on tonight. I may or may not make it.
We're on tonight, 8:00. We're discussing everything, the new signing, loans, blah, blah, blah. We do a predictions lineup because Ian's doing his show after the game on Monday. So we do the predictions lineup, the usual stuff. We have a bit of fun at the end, asking guest questions and stuff like that, like stuff at the end. But you can, most weeks you'll find us Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays at 8:00. This Sunday's a bit different because we're doing a post-match game on Monday, post-match show on Mondays, right?
Yeah.
At 8:00. So we are a discerning Spurs group. We're like each group out there, they're all good. All the groups we go to and we guest on, I mean, they're all got well-intentioned Spurs fans running those groups, but groups have a different tone. We're a bit more serious, but we're light-hearted towards the end. And I think, we like to sort of think of ourselves as being mature and sensible, and that's the way we debate all things Spurs related.
Have you got anything more to add to that, Ian?
Yeah, no, not much. We do Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. I completely forgot weeks ago. I booked theatre tickets to go and see a Northern Soul show, which is one of my other great loves is music and soul music. So I'm doing that on Sunday. So we're gonna do the. Hi, Colin. Hi, how are you? Sorry, I couldn't see. Hi, Colin. That will enable me to get off if you're on. So we're going to do a show straight after the game on Monday. Not sure you're not available for it, so I know Adrian. I'll have to decide now because a couple of the people I was going to have on aren't going to be on because they've got other plans for the game. But yeah, my show's on a Sunday night. We try and have some really good football discussion. I mean, we've done really well, seeing as there hasn't been any football other than Spurs friendlies to talk about. Now we're into the season. The Sunday show will be pretty well after, apart from the Monday game, unless we're playing in the Monday game, will be all the football talk. So really looking forward to it. But I do have to shoot because the lady's home and the lady wants fed, and I do the cooking. So I may or may not get on to yours tonight, Adrian. But come on, you Spurs!
Yes,
come on, you Spurs!
Thank you very much, Ian.
And thanks. An unexpected pleasure to be on this show this afternoon. Thanks.
No, thank you. As I said, it's all about predictions today, but there was football to talk about, and I didn't want to do because I was still running with predictions. I thought I'd get some people on to talk about the football side of it whilst I'm away busy doing my bit. So well done, gentlemen. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks to the two Davids there. The Temptations. I wouldn't argue about the Temps. I love the Temptations. Absolutely. All right. So you guys take care, and I'll catch you all soon. Have a good night.
Ian.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
So that's where you can all find Adrian and Ian. And
Spurs Diehards, TTID. And we also have a Facebook group with nearly 14,000 members, which is also called Spurs Diehards, TTID. For those of you that like Facebook, of course, will use it. And I'm on Twitter as well. So you can find me on Twitter as well.
So that's where you can find Adrian and Ian. Colin, I was just wrapping up, mate. So sorry.
Yeah.
You
No,
just
no
come in now.
worries. No worries.
I know. Thanks for
good.
popping on and saying hello, because I know you got to go work as well soon.
Yes, sir.
And I'll have a chat with you in the back anyway. The other thing was to say to people, just as a reminder, that on your way out, people, if you haven't done so already, smash the like button. It helps the show. And if people are watching this on playback or anything at all, you have, sorry, it's this one, fantasypremierleague.com. For the fantasy football, people have 20 minutes left to get their teams in. And if they want to, no, this is the teams, to pick your teams, because the league starts, match starts at 8 o'clock. So to pick your teams for Fantasy Premier, you need to select your lineups and have that done in the next 20 minutes. If people haven't joined my league yet and they've got a team already, then that's the code there. Predict the Premiership. Well, you've got a bit longer, because the first game kicks off in an hour and 50 minutes time. And if you want to predict the Prem, you go to this one. It's an online predictions league that we've got. And the code is there and you can enter it. And also today we have done the manual predictions, and I'm happy to say that we have 30. I think we've got either 30 or 31 people that have entered today, which is more than what I thought we would get. There's a lot of people missing from last year, but I guess it's either not their bag or they'll come in and they'll be playing catch up. So, and with that as well, also a thank you to Peter Kagayas, who gifted 5 channel memberships. And like I said to people, I'm really sorry for people that lost their memberships today, or because they were suspended for at 5 minutes before I came on the show. I got a YouTube announcement to say that they've been suspended because they wanted me to fill in a tax form that I'd already filled in, an American tax form. I don't know why. It's an American tax form you got to fill in. But I'd already filled it in, and then I rectified that. So I started the show about 10 minutes late, rectifying that. And whilst we were on the show, all the memberships reappeared again. So thank you very much for people. And I hope I haven't alarmed you. I will next back. I'm not on tomorrow because I'm going to the theatre tomorrow with my family as well. So I won't be on tomorrow. I will probably miss the most of the second half of the Ipswich Liverpool game because I'll be in the theatre, and I'm going in the afternoon, but I'll be back in late evening, so I'll probably catch match of the day. I'll probably see my phone pinging. My phone will ping and tell me what the scores are, the latest scores are, but I will miss the games on Saturday, so I'll catch match of the day. I'm going to watch the 2 games that are on Sunday. I'll probably end up watching them, and then on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, I'm doing a catch up on what's happened in the Premiership so far and what's happened with the matches. I'm doing it because usually at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, I would have been on Spurs Diehards with Ian. But as Ian's not doing a show, I've now decided to do a show myself on Sunday. So that'll be on at 8 o'clock in the evening. And then on Monday, I'm going to do a show at 10:15, which will be after the Leicester Tottenham game, just to gather all your thoughts on people's thoughts on what they thought of the game. And probably have a general chat for the people that missed Sunday. Have a chat about what we think of the first week of the Premiership. When are you next on, Mr. Talk and Ball?
Great question that I don't know the answer to. Maybe tomorrow. No work, so that's always an option. I'll have to see. There's been some news. I need to talk to you about some stuff backstage because apparently we signed a player that I completely missed.
Okay, right. So we'll talk about it now. I can talk about it now quickly before we run off. Go on.
Yeah. Okay. So young guy, winger, signed him on a 5-year contract, which is insane. But yeah, what's up with him? Do you guys know anything?
Yeah, he played for Burnley.
So he played under
Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, so he knows attacking. Right. Yeah, cool.
Right. So the thing is, and I was saying this earlier, you don't get Sky TV over there, but there's a program, if you're able to get it. It's called Mission to Burnley.
Yeah.
Right. It's 4-parter, and it's about the season. It's in 4 parts. It's like the documentary there was for Tottenham, but it's a Burnley one. It's in 4 parts, season 1, and that was when they bought Vincent Kompany in. When the new ownership came along, hired Vincent Kompany, and then went out and did the data analytics and got their players to form a championship campaign. They ended up winning the championship, and then season 2 is about it's another 4-parter, is their season in the Premiership condensed into 4 parts. So if you want to know about Odegaard and why he was purchased by Burnley and that, all you got to listen to is the data analytics and company and all that talk about him. There are a few videos doing the rounds, and you're part of the WhatsApp groups that Adrian's posted them in to show people within our groups a bit more about Odegaard. To give you a bit more about Odegaard, he's a winger that can play on both wings. He's very, very attacking. He's very, very fast. His stats, because if you look at stats in the top 5 leagues, right, and you look at the stats for under 21 players in the top 5 leagues, his stats are very favourable as opposed to Nico Williams, although one played in Spain and one played in the Premiership, right?
Interesting. Yeah. Cool.
But there are other players that are younger than him whose stats are better. So I think for under 21s in the top 5 leagues, I think he came 4th on his stats, but he beat a whole load of others, including Nico Williams. So yeah, he's been bought in. He's going to be on a 5-year contract. And then what's going to end up happening is that for my eyes, Tottenham, hopefully, because they haven't spent loads of money on this deal, and it'll be, like Adrian says, we'll do it over 5 seasons. If it's 20 million plus 5 in add-ons, that's £4 million a season that we're paying for this player. And so therefore, as I said to Daniel earlier, I still think Tottenham have money to go and make other signings this summer. And I'd like to see a minimum of 2 players coming in now that we've bought him. But I'd like to see possibly more than 2, but minimum of 2. Right? That gives you the information.
I'd like to see a midfielder and a left back is what I'd like to see, because I think we're done up the forward line now. We've got enough cover with Mikey Moore. We don't know whether Lancashire is going to be part of the first team squad. We know Mikey Moore is, but I hope Lancashire is part, because now that Valise has gone out on loan and the Scarlet's gone to Oxford. So yeah.
Right. So, and what else did you want to know, Carl? Apart from that.
Oh, well, basically, to me, the fact that we're signing so many young players on long contracts gives me hope that maybe Ange will be able to finally see out his contract, that we'll have a manager that's able to see out their contract for once, because they almost seem like they're signings for him. I don't know. Do you guys get that vibe? Or do you think this was just an opportunistic buy? Or do you think this was a player that Ange wanted?
I think we've covered a lot of this already on the show. And I really got to get the football. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to answer it by saying what I said earlier, is that Postecoglou did an interview when they got back from the tour, and he basically said that there is a profile of a player they're looking for. They are going through data analytics, but what he wants at the club, he wants players that want to play for Tottenham Hotspur and want to come to the club, and players got something to prove, right? He said it is what he wanted. He doesn't want. He says, you get players that turn around and say, well, I've been offered X amount of money elsewhere, and I'm looking and I'm interested. People are interested in me, blah blah blah. And he's like, okay, well, let them be interested in you. He's only got time. He only wants people that want to come in Tottenham and want to wear the Tottenham shirt. Now that must be good news for us, surely, that we only want players that are invested in Tottenham, and that's what we want, because as fans, we always say we want players that are not mercenaries. We want players to come to the club to wear our shirt and wear our badge with pride. So that can't be a bad thing, right? So you can't take with one and give and then give out with the other. You've got to listen to what the guys got to say. So at the end of the day, I still think that we need to do more in the market. I'd like to see us do more in the market. I'm agreeing, Hotspur. I think we need to do more in the market. Daniel Coyes, I agreed earlier we need to do more in the market. But at the end of the day, look at the amount of shit that we've moved out as well. Whether people like it or not, look, I'll tell you what, the easiest way to do it, go and write down our squad last season for the pre-season. Write down the squad that we had, or the squad that started the first Premiership last season, and write the squad that we have at this present moment in time, and it's night and day. That's all you got to look at. It's night and day. So you can't say on the one hand, well, we still got Dar at the club. What's he doing at the club? We've still got blah blah at the club. What's he doing? Right, we've moved the players on. We've now got other players have come in. So that's where we are. Right, for Hotspur and Sahil, right, we've done the prediction show today. So just to let you know, that if you would like to enter the predictions, the manual one that I do, I'm quite happy to accept your predictions, but people that are watching this on playback and people that have seen other shows, you would have to leave your predictions at the end of the video when this finishes, and I will accept them. Any predictions that are left there, I will accept as long as they are before the teams kick off. Furthermore, for people that are interested, if you've got a fantasy Premier League team and you want to enter it, then there's the code to enter it into the LTL Cockerel League. There's 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I got it. What's that code again? I'm sorry, I was doing something on a different screen for work. But YYFMNS.
MNS. So if she hasn't selected a team yet, all she's got to do is do a quick auto pick, and then that'll be your team for the week. Yeah?
Sweet. Then I can change it next week. Perfect.
Right, yeah. And then also as well, there's Predict the Prem. So it's premierleague.predictthefootball.com. If you enter the code that follows thereafter, you can enter into the online predictions league. But the one we did today is the one that you guys are aware of that we do on a Friday, where people just give me their predictions. And with that, I really do need to shoot.
Perfect.
Play football. So
Have
people,
fun.
Thank you very much for the people that came on. Thank you very much to all the people that have been watching and that have been participating in the chat, and that you guys are the ones that make the show. And I'll repeat that, but it's true. We wouldn't do it without you guys. And any my last comments and any last comments before I shoot off, because I've got 2 to make.
No, I'm good.
Adrian's got it written on his chest already. I'm going to add one more bit to it, and I'm going to say, come on, you mighty Spurs.
Yes.
And I'm also going to say, in Ange, I trust.
And
see you later, people. Well. Enjoy the first week of the season, and I'll see you soon.